Hello, 6th grade. I had a great question by a student today about this kinetic energy equation. It can be kind of a confusing one because it is kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv squared, or mass times velocity squared. When you think about that, you're really taking the entire equation and multiplying it by 1/2 or dividing it by 2. But the only thing that you're squaring is velocity, because remember, we have to remember a few math skills here, such as PEMDAS. So please remember, if we think of PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that you're going to do your parentheses and exponents first, and then your multiplication and division, right? So, in order from left to right. So you could really think of your kinetic energy equation such as 0.5 times your mass times your velocity squared. So those parentheses happen first, so we're going to square that velocity, we're going to multiply it by our mass, and then multiply it by 1/2. So I'm going to show this equation what it might look like if it was all easy math. So for example, if I knew my mass was 40 kilograms, okay, so I'm going to have that here to be multiplied by my velocity, and let's say that my velocity was 2 meters per second, okay, so 2 meters per second, and then that's squared, and then of course I have to multiply all that by 1/2, or 0.5. Well, I can do this in my brain. What's 2 times 2? Because that's what 2 squared is. That equals 4. And then if I do 40 kilograms times 4, I get 120. I'm just kidding, 160. Everybody screws up sometimes, 160. And then if I take 1/2 times 160, I know right away that my KE equals 80 joules, because joules is the unit that we get whenever we multiply, find our energy in kinetic or potential energy. So again, when you're using this KE equation, the kinetic energy equation, you want to remember that you're taking your mass times the velocity squared, and the only thing you're squaring is your velocity. And then you divide it all by 2, or multiply it by 0.5. All right, I hope that helps.